Welcome. We are going to discuss question 3 of the December 2021 paper. Question 3 of the December 2021 paper. And the question is, despite the growing popularity of human resource accounting, many organizations are hesitant to embrace the concept. Explain the possible reasons for this reluctance. Despite the growing popularity of human resource accounting, many organizations are hesitant to embrace the concept. Explain the possible reasons for this reluctance. So number 1, human resource accounting. I will say number 1, which is very important, is the fact that there is some differences exist between HRA and the real accounting. You know, the accounting, I'll talk of the accounting standards. Human resource accounting and accounting standards. And there are some things that they have not agreed. So there is some conflict. Like human resource accounting consider employees an asset to the organization. Accounting standards consider employees as an expense to the organization. So you see, these are fundamentals that go deeper than just these are accounting standards who consider salaries, wages as an expense. Basically, employees, they are not in the balance sheet, so they are not assets. They are put in the profit and loss account. But HR accounting or HRs consider employees as an asset to the organization. So those are fundamental differences, and they go a long way into explaining why organizations are hesitant to embrace the concept of human resource accounting. The difference in those fundamental issues which still exist. Then number 2 is that human resource accounting, just like accounting, also suffers from assumptions. Most of these assumptions, or some of these assumptions, may not see the light of the day. Assumptions are things that are held constant. So there's a lot that is held constant, just like accounting. Accounting also is based on assumptions, like the going concern assumption, where we believe that the firm will just be there for the next unforeseeable future period of time. It's the same thing in HR. HR also believes that employees are assets, that they will be there to stay so that you can recover your investment in them. And these are assumptions. So those are some of the weaknesses. As much as HRA is growing in popularity, people are hesitant to embrace because of those assumptions, which may not really be true in the real life situation. And of course, we have a lot of qualitative data which may not be put in quantitative form. And if you try to put in quantitative form, you possibly will not get the real picture. It would be a little bit of a problem to quantify some of this qualitative information. So that also makes it a bit difficult for people to embrace the concept of human resource accounting because of its qualitative nature. Most of the skills, it's qualitative in nature. But now, in accounting, we want to put it to quantify, because accounting is figures. So you find that there's some bit of some mismatch there, and that makes it a little bit of the organizations are kind of hesitant to. Then lack of consensus. I think this one, I don't know. Lack of consensus, we might want to put it together with these differences that exist. Yeah, I think let's put it with that. Differences still exist, and then lack of consensus, we can put them together. And then we can also have another point that it may not capture all the factors, ignore some factors, especially the external factors. Like when we are talking about employee productivity, you see, HRA just concentrates on things that are within the organization. But, you know, there are so many external forces, complex external forces, that may not be captured by this human resource accounting. So that means that it may not give us the real accurate information. And it comes in as one of the challenges in HRA, that it ignores external factors that might affect the employees also. That might not come out clearly when we talk about human resource accounting. And so it explains why some people are hesitant, because it's not wholesome in terms of coverage. It doesn't exhaustively cover all the factors that affect employee performance. And of course, there is that issue of integration with the accounting standards, still accounting standards. I don't know, this one again, lack of consensus, differences existing between, I think these points are related, and it's quite a big point, because you know, this is the fundamental of accounting. Because we have accounting bodies, and HRA needs to conform to the accounting bodies, or either way. But so long as there is different concepts, then it means that one of the items might not necessarily see the light of the day that easily. And so that is possibly one of the reasons why we have this. And of course, like when you talk about the metrics for measurement, there's a lot of subjectivity in decision making. Even if we are talking about quantitative figures, you'll see, like metrics, a person will pick a metric that will be favorable to him or her. There are so many metrics. You might agree with me, you must have seen like the turnover metrics. There's quite a number. So you might want to go for the metrics that show the best of you, and not the ones that show the negative of you. And of course, you come up with their justification. It's a common problem. It is a common problem. But that the fact that you can influence, or you can determine which metrics to go for, yeah, some people may now be hesitant to embrace the whole concept. Otherwise, if we had like standardized metrics which you have to use, then it becomes very easy, even for comparing one organization and the other. And you know, that one increases the chances of acceptability. But in this case, we don't have the standard metrics that apply to all organizations. Just like in accounting, you know, like audited books, we know what is supposed to be in those audited books. So it's very clear, it's a standard. But now, when it comes to the HRA, we may not really have the standard metrics that will ensure comparison of the various metrics. And that comes in as a weakness also, weakness which possibly could be explaining why organizations are hesitant to embrace the concept. And of course, the other thing is that just like accounting, information that we are talking about here, in most cases, is historical. What has already happened. We record what has already happened, not what is yet to happen. Now, we might also predict the future from the historical information. But this remains just at that it is a prediction. A prediction, you are never certain with it. You will never be certain with it. A prediction, it can come to occur or it may not pass. So it just remains at that if we try to focus the future, yes, there's uncertainty that comes with that. Otherwise, the information that we are dealing with is historical. We are just dealing with what has already happened. So this is, in fact, here, these are two different points that you can get, and all these, and I can go on and on and on and on and on. But we can stop here. Maybe the one that you like, I know most HR accounting students, is it? HR students who do HR accounting, they find this unit very complex. It's not user friendly. So that is also could be the reason why people or organizations are hesitant to embrace the concept, because somehow it may not be that much user friendly to so many people. And so, yeah, people become hesitant, or organizations become hesitant to accept or to embrace the concept because of that fact that it's complex and not user friendly. Thank you. Let's meet. No, there's a question B here. Let's do part B of this question. That examine the factors to consider when designing an evaluation plan for a human resource program. What are the factors to consider when you are designing an evaluation plan for human resource program? We want to evaluate human resource program to see if it has done well or not. So what are some of the factors to consider? Number one, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the evaluation? I'm designing an evaluation plan for a human resource program. So what are the factors to consider? Number one, what is the purpose of that evaluation? I have to get it right. For me to get it right, I need to know the purpose. Why am I doing this? Where can I get the data? And is the data readily available? Data availability. I'm designing an evaluation plan. Do I have the data? Where will I get the data? Is the data readily available? The nature of the program. Nature of the program. How is the program? What are some of its characteristics? Once I understand the program in and out, it becomes very easy for me to design an evaluation plan. But if I don't know the characteristics of the program, it may not be easy for me to design a program for what I really don't understand very well. The next thing is possibly the evaluation criteria. Because I'm coming up with an evaluation plan, what will be the evaluation criteria for this program? What are some of the questions that possibly I need to ask? What are my target audience? Target audience. These are some of the things that I will need to consider when designing an evaluation plan. What are some of my target audience, and what do they require? What kind of information do they need? That will also come in handy when I'm thinking of designing an evaluation plan. So the target audience and the kind of output or outcome that they will require will be very important. I'll also look at target audience. This will, I think, will answer the stakeholders. Target audience will answer the stakeholders, part of it. The other thing that I will look at is possibly the ethical considerations. Ethical considerations. What ethical factors do I need to consider when designing an evaluation plan for a human resource program? If there are any, I need to put them into consideration. The law, that the law say, legal factors, if any, what does the law say? What is the cost involved, the time, the risks? These are some of the things that I will need to look at. And the cost will also go with the resources available. So I look at what the evaluation plan will require vis-a-vis what I can afford. Those are some of the things that I will look at. The legal factors here. All this, just pick any 5 points here and you'll be good to go. Thank you. Let's meet in the next question.